First tonight to North East Lincoln,
where you've got the 4 chambers.
Is also missing on heart disease.
Some of these patients don't, they know they've got a scar on their chest, but...
Victoria with...
Sinjuri, dik kienet Dr. Lydia Buttigieg, The Prayer. Se nerġgħu nisimgħu aktar mużika minn għandha aktar tard. Għandi l-onur kif wetkom qabel li miegħi għandna hawnhekk fl-istudios ta' Net Television lill-Professor Jane Somerville. Samt magħkom ftit informazzjoni fuqha aktar kmieni fil-programm u għadna kif ukoll rajna filmat li fej rajna x'inhu eżatti il-Congenital Heart Disease. Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much for coming here. It's
Thank you for inviting
pleasure
me.
for us.
I hope so.
Yes, it surely is. And I mean, first of all, it's your first time on Maltese TV.
It certainly is.
I hope you like it and come again.
Well, probably the last, but thank you very much for inviting me. Honoured.
But you keep coming to Malta. I know you love Malta.
I do.
And also, you're very much involved with your own work here in Malta. Perhaps we can share what all your work is about here.
Well, I established at request the grown-up congenital heart clinic here. And I was asked to do this because they needed it. And the wise pediatric cardiologists did not want to deal with adolescents and adults. And you have to know there are more adolescent and adults now with congenital heart disease than there are these charming little children whom you're all drawn to. So I think the grown-ups have lots of problems and they need to be looked after. And we established a clinic together with the cardiologists, and we have managed to find a lovely trainee, Dr. Marianne Caruana, who runs the grown-up congenital heart clinic, and she still invites me to come, as does the Department of Cardiology, really. I'm very grateful to Dr. Jurep for that.
Yes, that's amazing. Is the clinic frequented regularly by grown-ups?
Oh, yes. You have a lot of patients here. Oh.
We're actually seeing.
Wow.
They decided to do a proper introduction, so perhaps we've actually...
1968, I think.
Tell us more about it. Tell us more about
do you
it.
think my memory will stretch back
Yes,
to 1968?
it surely will. It
in
surely
the days
will.
of Mary Quant and very short skirts
Yes.
and long pearls. Lovely, yes.
And that was you.
With Donald Ross at the first press conference after the first transplant in Europe, heart transplant in Europe.
And that was in 1968, right?
Yes, and Donald Ross, South African, was a great friend of Christian Barnard's, who was constantly through the hospital doing one thing or another. And we did the transplant, and it was the most amazing time. And I was sitting there, certainly not for decoration, because I was appointed to be the first physician to the cardiac transplant.
Yes.
Of course, knowing nothing. It was really new medicine.
I think it was new for everyone at that time, but you very much, I mean, from that photo, it's a very male-dominated scene, really. I mean, you must have been the only female, or there's a few females there.
Oh, I've always been attracted by the film 100 Men and a Girl. And yes, it's very male-dominated, as was my medical school guys, as was my whole life. The heart hospital, cardiac surgeons are generally male, although there are one or two excellent females, one of whom comes to Malta and lives here and loves it. But they're very few. It's all male-dominated. I don't think that's necessarily wrong. One just has to cope with it.
Yes. And we're seeing this is a family photo.
However did you get that?
Public information on the internet.
things they know.
I haven't researched anything. I've just put you into the search
actually,
engine.
those are my children.
Yes, and it's a beautiful photo.
There's Crispin next to me, the youngest. Lorne, the businessman, my eldest son, very naughty. Kate, by Crispy, and Rowan, the author.
Yes, so you've
hair
got...
long, and we were celebrating the last night of the National Heart Hospital, and I organised a birthday party at Claridge's.
How lovely, how
and that's
lovely.
where we all were, celebrating
memories.
a sad evening, but nevertheless, oh my goodness. Wow, wow, there's
This
Donald
is going
Ross.
down memory lane, isn't
Wow,
it? Yes.
memory lane. There's Donald Ross, Sunday morning, visiting the first patient. He's clutching hold of Janet, his daughter, who was our godchild. And I'm holding on tight to Lorne, who was very naughty. His sister also, little Kate. And I'm carrying Rowan on my hips.
Yes.
Because he wouldn't always walk. He would always eat, but he wouldn't walk. No nanny on Sundays.
No
so
nanny
they
on
all had to
Sundays.
get in the car and come.
But
Be a nuisance.
you did believe very much in having help to raise your children.
Oh, my goodness me. I am the worst mother. Don't have any illusions.
Don't say that. Don't say
I
that.
had a full-time housekeeper, a full-time resident nanny, who was, I think, rather more problems than the children, but anyhow, had to be changed regularly or whatever. And, but of course, and I sent my children to boarding school, as they're still complaining. They were sent away in the holidays, but what do you do with them?
Yeah.
I mean, monsters. So,
But that's how you could sort of balance such a brilliant career that you've had.
well, I think I balanced it because I had a very good husband who paid the bills, actually.
Yes.
And encouraged me. I don't think he wanted me being little wifey.
Yes,
I think
but he was a cardiologist also.
Very distinguished.
Yes.
Matinee looks cardiologist.
We have some photos. I think we have a wedding photo also.
Oh, goodness me.
Yes, if our control room can find some more photos that.
Your controller, I hope.
Yes.
Goodness knows what your controller is.
Yes.
Oh, that's Mary Quant dress with Donald Ross outside the hospital for our first appearance to the press, and we had no idea how awful was the media. How we
Yes.
might be slaughtered by them. And in fact, they did ultimately stop transplant for a bit, but not for long.
So when did it sort of take up again after they stopped?
Oh, I think it took 2 or 3 years of a
Right.
lot of negotiation by senior professors to deal with the ethics. We did not know about the press. I had never seen the whole street outside the National Heart Hospital was completely full of television cameras, and we came out made to by the House Governor.
Yes.
Those were fun days, not fun anymore. Too many managers now.
Yes, and let's speak a bit more about your work here and the Maltese patients. You do see quite a lot of Maltese
Oh,
patients.
there's a
too.
lot of patients here, and you may wonder why on an island of 500,000 people and lots of tourists, but why are there so many of these grown-up congenital heart patients? Because one per 100 is perhaps the birth rate, even here, of congenital heart disease. And the reason is that way back, your wise physicians took the decision, mainly Professor Frederick Fenwick, to not have cardiac surgery for children on the island. Because it wouldn't be big enough, good enough, or anything, and so they chose the very best units in the UK, and most of the patients were operated on in Great Ormond Street.
Yes.
And if you choose the best in medicine, in law, in husbands, that's more difficult, you will have a better outcome. And so you've got many patient survivors have come back to the island, dating back to the early days when cardiology and cardiac surgery started.
Sure, I like that for the husbands. Do you have any hints on finding a good husband then?
In Malta,
Yes.
are you asking me about Maltese men?
Why not? Why not?
Well, I haven't had a big sample or the full sample, so perhaps there's no p-value to my statistics. but I would say Maltese men might be difficult to find a good one.
Really, really.
There are one or two. You could say, well, there are one or two, but I think it's not easy. They're brought up by their mothers to be princes. They're very controlling. They're in charge. They like the little wife in the house, basically. Well, which man doesn't, but they're not going to. And I feel it's quite difficult for the emerging population of highly educated, career-minded women to find a husband.
So you reckon that the mentality of males, let's say in Malta, is quite different to what you find in the United Kingdom?
Well, you know, I can't deal with the population selection, else anybody had been thinking I've been looking at men. I always say I know more about men than I know about cardiology, but there's a very strong Arab influence.
Yes.
And the mothers are quite wonderful in Malta, is what I'd like to say.
I think mothers spoil their children in Malta a lot.
But we make the men bad, there's no doubt. The other thing I was thinking, actually, as I was thinking about this, in case I was bold, this googly, that one should realize, particularly in Malta, my advice to the girls, who are very good, very chic, often very ambitious and willing to work hard certainly in the professions. I think you have to think like this. If you want to be the master, the head of the department, then maybe there should be less of the mistress.
You are funny. I know you enjoy opera a lot.
I love it.
You love it. And in fact, I haven't introduced you to Andriana yet. We've got Andriana.
Hello, Andriana.
Andriana
Nice to see you.
Jordanova.
Thank you.
And Ramona, the piano also.
Hello, hello.
What are you going to sing for Professor Somerville today?
I prepared O mio bambino caro from Puccini.
Very good. You can't have better than Puccini. Thank you.
Yes.
So we're going to listen to Andriana, and we'll be back with you very soon.
O mio bambino caro, mi piace bello, v'andare in Porta Rossa, a compiere l'anello. Sì, sì, ci voglio andare, e se lo posso andare sul ponte vecchio, ma per buttarmi in ardo mi stracca il tormento. Vorrei morir. Babbo, pietà Babbo,
Take my flowers. I think you deserve them more than I do.
Thank you so much.
Lovely.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
Lovely.
I know you enjoy opera.
I do.
You are a friend of Jesse Norman.
I am. I am.
A close friend, and you travel with her too.
Oh, many times, many adventures. That was fun.
Yes.
Easier to do when I had retired, but I did go occasionally.
Yes.
Leave my work.
Yeah.
Great fun, great life, but very tough.
Yes.
Very tough being at the top of that profession.
Apart from opera, what else do you enjoy?
Gardening, collecting, botany, antiques, living, eating,
Yes.
all of that, as you can see. Like to eat.
The future in Malta and your work here. How do you see your future?
Well, I think my future is enjoying your sunshine. And you know, the Malta sunshine is quite as good as anywhere else in the Mediterranean. I think that's my future, and I'm staying for as long as I can make it here on the aeroplane. God knows how long that is. But I think the future in medicine here is good. Medicine standard here is good. Of course, we're likely to say that because it's very much conducted on the English, but not only the English, they take the best from many places. Your major services are good, and if they're not interfered with by the politicians, which is always bad, they will remain good. You have very good doctors. I'm very pleased, and actually, secret not, if I am sick, and I have been, they look after me like a baby.
Amazingly.
I am treasured
Amazingly.
here.
You are a treasure, I think. You are a treasure. Now, I'd like to refer to our friend Marion, who's sitting making cards. How are we doing, Marion? Yeah. Yes, and I think we've actually shown some of the work you've been doing. I believe you've got something which you've prepared for Professor Somerville. She prepared a handmade card.
Oh, how
for you.
lovely. How beautiful.
And
Thank you.
she got everyone here to sign it for you.
Thank you. I shall treasure it.
That's a lovely gesture, I think.
I
isn't
think
it?
that's
You
a
don't
very
have to
good
get up.
gesture. Of course I do. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And she also-
Oh, just make me more fat.
She got you a present from her village.
Oh,
because they
thank
just
you.
had the
Isn't
village
that good?
feast. So
Thank you. Thank you.
how do you feel about Maltese food? Have a seat.
Very fattening.
Uh-huh.
Very unhealthy. Eat too much pasta, too much sugar, too much salt. But the best things are eating here. Lots of lovely fish and things. You don't eat healthily. But who am I to come and advise you about the activities of ages?
we do have quite heavy food, I think, in general.
Very heavy, and you eat too
Very
much.
heavy food. And, you know, we're preparing some Bulgarian food with thanks to Andriada, because she wears the Maltese Bulgarian hat here.
Oh.
So she's in charge of an association together with some of her colleagues, and they're preparing some Bulgarian food in the kitchen. And I hope you stay with us and at least try out a few bits and pieces.
Maybe.
Yes,
I
maybe.
can tell you, I had a very good breakfast this morning because you have to go to...
But you can have a few nibbles, I
Well,
think.
maybe that's what destroys you. The nibbles. But thank you.
So you're going to stay with us for a
I'm
while.
not sure about
I've got
that.
some little goodies from our local baker, Jasper's, the Danish
Oh,
bakery.
famous.
They're all Maltese quaresimal, and you've got the village biscuits also. They're the Maltese village cookies, so you can enjoy them a bit.
I'm going to take them home in my suitcase tomorrow. I have a lovely Maltese young lady living with me. She's doing her dissertation, so I'm sure she'll jump on them.
Is this Emma?
Yes.
Yes. Hello, Emma.
Hello, Emma.
Hello, Emma.
Are you looking? Hello, Emma.
Hello,
You're on
Emma.
television now. I've got cakes and goodies for you.
And you've got something to treat yourself with,
Oh,
thanks
good.
to
If only I'd
massage.
did it in the night, my back
Yes.
was itching.
And Pippa Mattei's cookbook. I do have to give you one of mine eventually.
Yes,
But I
thank
gather you did mention
I have brought for
you've
you
got
a
very
present.
distinguished children also. And
Well, they all look nice. I don't know how distinguished they are, but let's leave that part.
That looks-
But I give you my son's, my lovely third child's book.
Okay. So
Thank you. This is Rowan Somerville's book.
So is this available in the bookshops?
I think...
Or
yes.
Amazon,
No, I'm sure it
Amazon.
is, but I give it to you. It's a very interesting and true story, and I think he researched it very well, but it was thought it's about...
It's a true story of a suicide bomb and the heart.
it's a Palestinian heart that was given to a Jewish boy who was dying,
Did you
and
feel-
he revisited it, and it's very touching.
I have to give it a read, and thank you and thank Rowan very much.
He'll be here if you want another Somerville, but I think one is more than enough.
Why not? Why not? We enjoyed having you. We probably enjoy having him too. Min jixtieq dal-ktieb ukoll tistgħu sibuh fuq il-online. Rowan Somerville beat ukoll. U sanaddikom għal ftit mużika oħra minant Ramona u Dr. Lydia Buttigieg.